Kyle, Michigan basketball, they're ranked number 2 in the AP poll right now. However, I would argue there's nobody playing better basketball than the Michigan Wolverines right now. They're two enormous guys in the front court. One of them's the NBA prospect in Yaxel Lenderberg. One of them's the 7'4" giant in Ade Mara. Those two are pretty much unstoppable. Their point guard, Elliot Cadeau, has been really good this season. They've got their 5-star shooter in 5-star shooting freshman in Trey McKinney, who's hit the ground running as a freshman. That was a little bit of a question mark. They've got their 5-year senior senior. I don't know if he's 4 or 5 years. I'd have to go back and look. In Burnett and
I think he's 5th year.
I think he is 5th year. Yeah. If he's not, it feels like he's been there 5 years.
Texas Tech for a year, and then Michigan Texas Tech 2 years, Michigan last 3.
You've got Namari Burnett, the shooter on the outside. This team runs deep. They're huge. They're fast. They're the number 1 defensive rating team in college basketball. They're number 1 net rating team on college basketball. This team has been nothing but dominant to open up the season. And now that we've seen them one game into Big Ten play where they dominate a Rutgers game and score 100 points for the 3rd time, this is suddenly like, I don't know what the ceiling is for this team. There is no ceiling for this team. And it's so ridiculous to say here in December, like, hey, is this the year that the Big Ten finally gets over the hump? But like, I at this point, 8 games in, I would be shocked if Michigan wasn't a top 2 seed in March Madness. Now that we've seen them have at least one Big Ten game, to me it feels like there's going to be very few teams in the Big Ten that even have a remote chance to knock off Michigan in the regular season, State being one of them, Purdue being one of them, even though Purdue just lost. But I feel like we can say with confidence they're going to run through the Big Ten pretty easily. Not saying like, hey, they're guaranteed to win it. But
can we say that?
I think they're guaranteed to beat most, like have a pretty crazy Big Ten record by the end of the season. I don't know who can beat this team right now.
Right. It does feel a little bit like premature to note them to be a top 2 seed in March when Big Ten play literally just started. Like, that is truly what matters. Yeah, the non-conference schedule is what gets you built for March, but those games happen in November and December. Like, the Big Ten play is really what's going to be what guides this team throughout the season. And I do think the Big Ten has clear tiers to it this season. Like, I think there is a very clear top tier of Michigan and Purdue on the top tier, MSU probably on the tier right below them. And then you still have Illinois, who is going to be a really good team this year. UCLA is one of the better players in the country. So I think that there is good teams that Michigan's going to play. And I don't want to just note them to be, yeah, they're for sure, because we kind of did this last year, right? Obviously, I think this year's team
team is different.
This team is better, for sure, and they've played extremely well in the non-conference, and they've kind of given us no reason at least to be like, yeah, why would this team not go 16-4 at worst in Big Ten play? So, yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if they're not a top 3 or 4 seed by the end of the year. I think that's fair.
But they have the upside to be number 1 seed.
Totally.
Best
totally.
overall seed in college basketball this season. I'd say nobody has a better resume than them right now after the dominant win against Gonzaga. It feels like they put up 100 points every week. And it's like,
yeah, I mean, they've put up 100 points in 3 straight games.
And the last team to do that was the Chex Notes 1985 or 1989 Fab 5 team.
Nice.
Like, this team, the reason I feel so confident about them is because even the nights where they're not shooting hot from the outside, they're so dominant in the paint,
right,
and play such incredible defense. Number 1 defensive rating in all of college basketball per 100 possessions. I just think their floor is so much higher than most teams' ceilings. Even on their bad nights, they're going to just dominate down low because of Ade Mara.
Yeah, I think that's their defense being so good is absolutely the reason why you feel way more confident in this team than last year's. Now, obviously, this team still does turn the ball over a pretty good amount, which that was their number 1 Achilles heel last year. It isn't that big of a harp this year because they just play extremely fast. You're going to turn the ball over.
Sure.
So
they rack together a ton of possessions. Exactly. You're going to turn the ball over more than most teams. But here's the thing.
Their defense also just matches it.
Yeah.
Like, they not only are they the best defensive rating in all of college basketball, they're the best defense by far.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 4-point difference between the second-place team in defensive rating on KenPom. Like, and then the difference between 2 and the number 9 team is a 4-point difference.
Yeah.
Like, they are dominant. And then, obviously, they're the best net rating by far. They're still a top 5 offense.
And it's not like they've played nobody. They've played some good
really
teams.
good teams. Like, that's the thing. We talk about, they've scored 100 in 3 straight games. They've scored 90-plus in 4 straight games. they didn't play any cupcake teams throughout that.
No.
They played 3 really good teams in the Players Era Festival and then opened up Big Ten play with a conference win by Rutgers killing them. So
and it just felt like they were on a different level than Rutgers was in every way.
I mean, I'm with you. Like I said, I don't want to jump the gun because Big Ten play always just gets weird, and it's always teams just beating up on each other all season long. And last year, Michigan State went on a run that I did not expect as far as, wow, they didn't let anybody beat up on them. They really dominated the Big Ten last season. It wasn't even really a battle come the end of the year who was going to win the Big Ten. And so I just think it's unexpected. You never really know what's going to happen. I'm not saying Michigan's going to flake out, but I'm also not going to crown them the Big Ten champs, before they've played their second game in the conference.
When I was watching them play on Saturday, just annihilating Rutgers, again, it feels like they're playing a different sport in some ways. I went to go see what their odds were to win the national championship. They're the favorites. Like, we're here. They are the favorites to win the national championship.
It's unreal.
Congratulations, Michigan fans. Like, you're the team to beat right now, not just in the Big Ten, but in the country. And there's been such a level of dominance that I'm like so caught off guard by, because you just don't see that in college basketball very often, that I said there's no ceiling to this team. Like, okay, yeah, maybe it's a little early to anoint them as Big Ten champions, but are you going to be shocked at all if by the time like late February rolls around, we're all of a sudden looking at this team that has one loss on the season and they kind of just roll through everybody that they play? Maybe there's been a couple games where it's been close in Big Ten play, but for the most part, They've just kicked the crap out of everyone, and it's been pretty apparent that they are like in their own deviation for how good the rest of the Big Ten is versus them.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, I think the better conversation to have is like how long until this team loses a game? Because when you look at their upcoming schedule, obviously Villanova tonight, they're going to crush them. At Maryland was supposed to be good this year. They have really struggled this season. And then their tough Big Ten they shouldn't lose a rest of the game in 2025. They should go into the new year undefeated still. And then they open up Big Ten play at the start of the year with a couple tough teams, but they don't play a top 30 team in KenPom until Wisconsin on January 10th.
I would imagine they're undefeated through then.
Like, are they going to get to the Michigan State game undefeated?
January 30th,
That's right? January 30th. Is that going to be obviously, there's a lot of games in between now and then. So it's difficult to put that on them. But also, why can't we say that with how freaking good this team has been?
Yeah, because it's not like they're gutting out these wins.
No, it's not like the TCU and Wake Forest games. They have clearly hit a different gear, and I think it completely is correlated with the health of Yaxel Lendenberg.
Yeah, because those first couple of games, he had the hand injury that popped up really late. We were like, what's going on here? It feels like the only time he scores is in transition. Yeah, no, but we were wrong. That guy's a superstar.
Yeah.
That guy's going to be an NBA player.
Absolutely.
That guy's one of the best players in college basketball. The fact that he can shoot the three, the fact that he's so long, so bouncy, so quick at his size at like 6'9" and a super long wingspan, it's just going to create really difficult matchups for other teams in the Big Ten. Like, I always, think about, hey, who's Michigan State going to guard Yaxel Lendenberg with? Jackson Kohler? Like, he's a tough guy. I love Jackson Kohler.
It's
super gritty.
It's going to be a combination of Kohler and Cooper.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's staying in front of him.
Right. And then you also have Ademar on the floor. So, yeah, I mean, their toughest opponents coming up, like I said, that Wisconsin game. USC's not a fork-over game, but that one's at home. You feel pretty good about that. The Wisconsin one is at home as well. And then other than that, all their tough games are at home in Big Ten play to kick off the season. So
there's been 5 teams in Michigan basketball history to have 30 wins. What would you set the odds are that they are the 6th team to score to have 30 wins by the end of the season?
You do have to give it plus odds, I think.
Really?
I
this
think
is
you
like
have to.
Big Ten and March Madness included.
I mean, what, they play 34 games?
In the regular season? No, I'm saying total.
You're counting everything, Big Ten tournament and all of it?
Yes.
Oh, then it's minus. Yeah, I mean, that's 8 extra games right there. So, yeah, it's minus odds for sure. Minus 200. I mean, 30 wins obviously is a ton, but, they're off to a tremendous start to that number. And
it feels like they're on the freeway going 90 when no one else is even going 80 miles per hour right now in the Big Ten. Everyone else is going the speed limit or, getting onto the highway. I mean, Purdue just already crashed.
Yeah, Purdue that's the worst loss in Mackey Arena history. That's crazy.
Michigan
MSU,
State ran into a bump.
I don't think they crashed. Yeah, I think that they just slowed down a little bit.
They're
lost
going
a
the
tight
speed
game
limit
against a really good Duke team,
But Michigan is out here 90 miles an hour on the freeway.
Yeah.
Cruising past everybody. And again, like the reason I feel so comfortable saying, like, I think this is a top 2 seed, lock it up, maybe even a 1 seed, maybe even the number 1 overall seed in all of college basketball, a team that's going to be undefeated, like, through the calendar year, when they're at their worst, it's still better than most teams' best based on what they're going to do defensively, how hard it is to score in the paint versus them, how fast they're going to play, how much they're going to turn you over. Even when they're not hitting the three.
Their defense is the reason why you feel any confident in them.
And we say they're the number 1 defensive rating in college basketball. They're 11th in offense.
Yeah, they've scored 100 points in 3 straight games. You know, like that's the part to me that if they can hang their hats on their defense, and we know the ceiling that this offense has, there's a reason why they are the favorites to win it all right now.
You know Michigan's good or a team's good when the rival's kind of like, whoa. And I've had some Michigan State fans text me and be like, whoa, this is like, I still am predicting the split. They always split home and home. This gritty Spartan way. Tom Izzo's always going to find a way to win. But like, man, Michigan just looks a little bit on a different level than Michigan State right now. And that's saying something because Michigan State's still a top 10 team in the country.
Like I said, I think that the top tier, I think it is Michigan and Purdue in the top tier, with Michigan ahead of Purdue, of course. But
I think Michigan's in a tier of their own after Purdue just lost.
Purdue had a ton of really good wins up to that Iowa State win. So I'm not.
But they've also had a ton of shaky wins.
Yeah, but they went to Alabama and won. Like they had a ton of really. So I'm going to put them with Michigan ahead of them for sure. But State is in the tier below them, I would say.
Why do you have Purdue above State? I don't think that's that big of a difference.
They have the best player in the country and the best home atmosphere in the country.
Braden Smith?
Yeah,
I think he's the best player in the country.
Yeah, he was preseason.
I think he played the best player in the country on Saturday in the Breslin.
Sure, I mean we talked about. Really, you think so?
Boozer? Yeah.
I mean, I think he's one of the 3 best players in the country. But okay, you're playing the best guard in the country in Braden Smith. Let's be fair and put it that way. You know, like I think at the end of the day, like Purdue is still Purdue. I'm never gonna just shy away from them after obviously a bad loss, definitely. But I'm not gonna be all panicked about it.
Is Braden Smith a true senior?
Yes.
He's one of those guys that feels like he's been there for 7 years.
All my college basketball friends always talk about that. This guy's been in. No, he just was an impact freshman.
Yeah.
He came in was starting point guard for Purdue as a freshman, and he just has been all for it. Same with Fletcher Lawyer. Fletcher Lawyer is a true senior. Both of them were starting in the backcourt as true freshmen. It's kind of hilarious.
Michigan basketball off to a hot start. In action tonight against Villanova. That's at 6:30. That feels like a good blue blood battle. It's just not.
It's not.
It's just not.
Villanova stinks. They're like 90th in Ken Pom.
You know, the thing about...
actually, no, they're not, but still.
The thing about Michigan that I was thinking about over the weekend during that Rutgers game, the thing that's so weird about him is, like, I don't think they're a blue blood, but they're in that next group. I think they're one of the best teams in the country, one of the best programs in the country that hasn't won a national championship this century. Michigan State doesn't qualify because they did win a national championship this century. But in terms of all the teams that have never won one, Houston, Michigan, Gonzaga, did they ever get over the hump? No, they made it twice and didn't get there yet.
Right.
Like, of all the teams that haven't won a national championship, Michigan might have the best case that they are the best program because since 2012 tournament appearances, 8 Sweet 16s, 4 Elite 8s, and the weird thing is they've had success with 3 different head coaches. That's the weird thing. Dusty May has already been to an Elite 8, now looks like the best team in the country. Beeline went to 2 national finals. And as much as the Juwan era ended pretty abruptly and grim, he went to an Elite 8, you know?
Right.
The fact that they've done this with 3 different coaches and have maintained success, I think is really impressive. You know?
It totally is. I mean, and obviously, like, I just think, too, that I've had my ways that I've felt about Dusty May. And obviously, like, I still think that the rivalry between him and Izzo, the way that was handled last year was flabbergasting, to say the least.
Fuel to the fire.
Correct. And it was good. It was good for the rivalry, for sure. I feel a little bit differently about Dusty May this year than I did last year. Let's just say that.
He's the blueprint on how to build a college basketball program in 2025.
I mean, the fact that, like, I was just talking about this, Villanova actually is ranked much higher than I thought. They're a top 35 team in Ken Pom.
15-point favorites.
15-point favorites. And Ken Pom gives them a 15-point favorite, too. Like, trust them as well. It's unreal. They don't have a game projected inside of 10 points, looking at Michigan's schedule on Ken Pom the whole rest of the way.
Oh,
until MSU.
They have point projections that far laid out?
They have it for the whole entire season.
Oh, wow.
And it obviously gets updated as games happen, but they don't have Michigan 1 projected to lose a single game all season. They're wins for every single game. But they don't have a game inside of 10 points until that MSU game. It's crazy stuff.
And that first one's in East Lansing, right? What's the projection of the one in Ann Arbor in February?
76-67, 9-point win.
It's closer for the one in Ann Arbor? That's weird.
First one is 73. No, the first one's at the Breslin.
Okay. Now I get it. Yeah, the games that I think are like losable the rest of the way are the Michigan State games, but they're not going to get swept. Like you and I can both agree on that.
Yeah. Duke, obviously.
Duke, who they just randomly play in February.
So funny. Purdue.
And Purdue.
They go Purdue,
that's
Duke.
it.
Purdue, Duke in the same week. It's unreal.
Imagine they win both of those.
And neither one's at home either.
What's up with all these 6:30 weekday starts for Michigan? You notice that?
Kind of nice,
Play at
right?
6:30 a lot.
Kind of nice.
I like it.
I like it too. We should get down to a Michigan game.
You think so?
I think that'd be fun.
We should just go to the Michigan versus Duke game. Or the Michigan State game.
The Michigan-Duke game is in, like, Vegas or something.
Oh,
or
is that a neutral
I think it's in MSG.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
actually.
it's a neutral
We should go to the
site game.
Michigan State game is what we should do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that
Fork over
that would be great, yeah.
A couple $100. Yeah, the Purdue game on the road for Michigan is maybe the tricky one, but I don't know, man. The way they're playing right now, I'd put their over-under on losses on the season, regular season at least, at 5.5, and I would take the under.
It seems, yeah, I think you got to go lower than that.
4.5?
I think it's 4.5.
And I would probably still take the under.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if this team had 5 losses. That's where I'm at.